Let's take a look forward and a look back. Hi, I'm Ian Thane. Welcome to another SAP CodeTalk. As I said, it's traditional this time of year to be a little bit reflective and look forward as well. And who better to have that with us on this CodeTalk is Thomas Grassel. Thomas, you are Global Head of Developer Relations and Developer Community. Thank you for joining me at this most important time of the year when you're closing 2018 off.
Thanks, Ian, and it's great to be back on CodeTalk.
Excellent. So, as I say, this actually is the 39th and last CodeTalk of the year. So that I thought this would be quite special to have this reflective view. And Thomas, a lot of things have changed in 2018. Let's start with the team. So, over to you to reflect on the team.
Yeah, I think earlier on in the year, the big change was that we put a few areas closer together. One was like the SAP community and the team and developer relation. We joined it together, and basically, background is there's a lot of similarities between all the things going on. Like it's very much like people who are using SAP software, developers who want to try it out, build something, and so I think it was a great thing to put these forces together. Because we already had a lot of touch points in the past, was like with the mentor program, etc. So there was a lot of things where developer and community was already intermingling, and so it was great to have the teams together. In addition, I think on the developer relations side, we also said okay, let's build this up even further. So you saw probably more people if you have been at TechEd, etc. this throughout the year. And yeah, and you probably hopefully see also more results, which we probably will touch on in a second.
Okay, so in fact, let's sort of change the order of what I was going to ask you. But as you mentioned, TechEd events. So we are now officially at the end of the events year, and TechEds were pretty spectacular again this year.
Yeah, no, it's events was definitely one part which kept us busy. Let's dive right into TechEd again, 3 TechEds. The great thing was to see a lot of amazing feedback what we got from the folks attending TechEd. I was amazed also, and thank you to the community. There was I counted it once. There was 27 blogs just about Barcelona TechEd. That also gives us the thing that we are on the right path. This is also, the team is very much listening, trying to figure out throughout the years, okay, how can we tweak it? How can we make it better? And the feedback we got, and also the positive feedback, it also helped us a lot to okay, this makes it better over here. I think app space was again gigantic. Was great to also have community activities in there. And we also had a lot of new topics at TechEd, ABAP in the cloud platform, S4 integration. So interesting topics which we know the developers want to touch and get in their hands at TechEd.
I know, as you said, the app space I think was at least 3 or 4 times bigger than ever before.
Yeah, no, and it's in general a lot where the programs. We see the demand, and it's that's basically how we scale the different programs around it. Over the last few years of TechEd, we saw AppSuite was always busy, packed, and then it makes sense to put more towards these efforts. When we also were critical, we took a few things out where we did not feel it's right, and you probably have seen the team how we do it is sometimes it's not right on the first time. We listen to you, get some new ideas and try it slightly different. And I think it's an agile way of getting the stuff perfect and improving it over time.
Okay, so improvements. So I straight away think, and I'm drawn to the digital side. So again, we had quite a bit of improvement in the developer relation, sorry, the technical developer relation side as well as the community side within the digital part of us this year.
Yeah. Now, so digital and the web, with the community, you see the stats on the community homepage now. There's 2.8 million users coming in every month into the SAP community. That's gigantic, and it's people who wanna stay informed, have a questions, need an answer, etc. And we see the same, a similar demand also like on the developer side. Like developer side, we spun it off, I think 3-4 years ago, very small, but now this is also becoming a very big property inside the SAP.com area. Now basically also we said, let's make it more prominently. Like that's why there is now developers.sap.com as a standalone domain. Everybody of the developers, it's kind of like a known fact that you type in developers.xyz.com and you get to the vendor's developer site. And if you look at both sides, we did a lot of like analysis behind the scenes on like what people are doing, what they're listening to, what they're watching, and formed this around. Like the big thing on the community was to get some of the improvements out. There was a bigger update in September, but now also we try, and I think yesterday another thing went live. We're trying like every 2 weeks, every month to get further updates out. So it's not something that you're like, okay, now I have to wait for 6 months. We're improving this, we're listening this, or we're watching how these things are working, refining them again. Well, basically a very, very close and agile approach what we pushed in for the community. And if you ask me, like, yeah, we're not done. So there's plenty to do. And then also on the developer side, that one probably had a big thing on not only the content. If you look at the tutorials, there's almost 900. Yesterday was 896 tutorials because I looked it up yesterday. So there's a lot of learning content, and we also now expanding this one. So it's not just the developer relations team puts this in. We're working with the product team. So you see also like newer topics coming in via the tutorials. We also took a step back on some of the areas. So for example, cloud platform, we did it was probably a 2-month project where we said, how can we make it easier for someone who is new to the SAP Cloud Platform to get started? And there's now like 7 missions. And these 7 missions are about 3 days of good content. You can get started, and it really gradually drives you into the topic of the SAP Cloud Platform.
That's a really nice sort of summary of 2018. And you kept on mentioning, you know, we haven't finished yet. So it leads me quite nicely into the second part of the Code Talk, which is really sort of 2019. And I know, you know, as I said, the year isn't finished yet. You've still got a lot of work before closing this year up. And I wonder whether there's any sort of focus and direction that you can share with the audience, right at this moment. Not giving too much away, Thomas.
No, I'm always careful. I don't want to over-promise and then not deliver, or it takes sometimes also a little bit longer. So there are like great plans on the community, as you will see. We announced this already at TechEd. We're working on the archive, getting this back live. So you have also like information in Q&A which was there before 2016, and you can engage on this. So that's very, very important. We're looking very closely into reputation, all these things, that we give the credit to the people who are helping in the community much better, that it becomes more transparent. There's also like a lot on content, what additional content we need in the community, structuring around the topic pages, etc. So there's a lot of the things probably we have internally set us very, I got the pushback from my team as very aggressive goals. But I think sometimes we see the demand and we want to build this out. And then also across like different SAP organizations. So that's also very important. We're looking how can we, with the SAP community, support other areas. So collaboration with support, content from other areas to make it an easier experience. You come in, you have a question, you want to figure out. It should not require you like 5 different web pages, 5 different clicks. You should get this in a few clicks with a few searches, etc. On the developer side, very similar. Like the team is very active right now. Shouldn't say that because we actually took kind of like the quieter time. It's always over the holiday season to push out some of the releases. As you probably, if you go to developers.sap.com and if you log on, you see already some of these areas, so it becomes more personalized. So your learning journey about the tutorial missions that gets tracked, you can pick it up where you had left it off. You can bookmark certain areas which you want to read on further. We want to guide you a little bit more when you finish off like one tutorial, what else can I learn about it? And then also definitely like content. That's a very critical thing where we're currently looking into also how precise is the content for developers? What do you need? What is the typical pattern? So yes, it's about the experience. We want to get everybody very quickly to their goals, to reach their goals, to build something, etc. And then, yeah, of course, you will see us a little bit more active again, like in 2019. We scaled the whole program up a lot in 2018 already. You might have seen us in more conferences, so watch out. Also areas in open source, like we're doing so much, and it's a shame not to talk about it much more. And I had yesterday a meeting also with external analysts, and they're like, great, like it's amazing what SAP has shifted in the last years around open source, and especially like in areas of Kubernetes and so on. There's a lot of activities, and we're proud. We shouldn't hide this, and that's definitely areas we want to promote those a little bit more.
Excellent. Well, we will return in 2019. Thomas, thank you for spending some time with me. I'd like to also thank the CodeTalk audience and happy holidays to you all. And Thomas, again, thank you and see you in 2019.
Happy holidays. See you in 2019.